Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. This is Hassan Yahya, lecturer, Department of Islamic Studies, Milestone College, Uttara, Dhaka. Welcome to all in Islam and Moral Education class. My dear students, before starting all class, I am very interested to recite Durud Sharif, so you are instructed to recite Durud Sharif with me. Allahumma salli ala Sayyidina Muhammad An-Nabiyyi Al-Ummiyyi wa alihi wa sallim. Okay, very good, my dear students. Whenever you get time, please try to recite this Durud Sharif. This Durud Sharif is very important for your lesson, for your exam, for your main exam, board exam, everywhere. Wherever you need help, you can recite this Durud Sharif, my dear students. And today we will discuss on chapter 2, lesson 8 and lesson 9. Chapter 2, lesson 8 and lesson 9. My dear students, lesson 8, Sura Al Inshirah, and lesson 9, Sura At-Tin. Alam nashrah laka sadrak. This surah is Sura Al Inshirah. Lesson 8, chapter 2, lesson 8, and lesson 9, Sura At-Tin. Wat-Tini waz-Zaytun. Sura Al Inshirah and Sura At-Tin. Sura Al Inshirah and Sura At-Tin. These two surah today we'll discuss. My dear students, and please everybody, give your attention and try to watch this class carefully, attentively, and open your book, take your copy, take your necessary things. Okay, my dear students, everybody give your
the lesson
attention.
8 is Surah Al Inshirah.
My dear students, Surah Al Inshirah, there are 8 ayats. How many ayats there? There are 8 ayats, and there are two types of surah, Makki surah and Madani surah. And Surah Al Inshirah is Makki surah. Surah Al Inshirah is Makki surah. And how many ayats are there? There are 8 ayats. And there the very first ayat, Alam Nashrah, from Nashrah, the name of Surah Alam Nashrah had been taken from the very first verse, the very first very word. So, my dear students, Surah Al Inshirah is the Makki surah, and there are 8 ayats, and the serial number of this surah 94. My dear students, there are 114 surah in the Holy Quran, and Surah Al Inshirah, the serial number of Surah Al Inshirah is 94. And my dear students, there are 8 ayats, Makki surah, and Al Inshirah, from first verse, Alam Nashrah laka sadrak, there Nashrah, so that word is the name of this surah, my dear students. Okay, my dear students, I think you got some information from my lecture. There are 4 or 5 information. So those students who didn't open your book, please open your IME book, Islam and Moral Education, and lesson 8, chapter 2, Surah Al Inshirah. My dear students, then we will discuss on Shani Nuzul. What is the Shani Nuzul? Shani Nuzul means the background of any surah, the background of any ayat, any surah. There are a lot of verses in the Holy Quran. There are a lot of verses there are a lot of surahs in the Holy Quran. But why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that surah? Why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed that ayat? And what is the special reason for revealed that surah or this surah or any ayat? So, if you for every ayat, for every surah, there is specific reason. So we have to know the specific reason for particular ayat, for particular verse. So Surah Al Inshirah, there are also Shani Nuzul. My dear students, and when our Holy Prophet Muhammad Islam, and he started to invitation to Islam in Arab's country, and before, and he invited people, then everybody loved so much. Everybody loved him so much, and he was highly respected man everywhere. And they called our Holy Prophet Islam Alami, and they loved and respected always our Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But when our Holy Prophet Muhammad Islam, he got Nabuwwat, and he started to spreading Islam, he started to invite the people to Islam. Then they started to insult our Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. They always disturb our Holy Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Even though the new Muslim converted Muslim, and they also tortured by the non-Muslim, the mushriks, the kafirs. They always started to disturb our Holy Prophet Muhammad, the relative of Holy Prophet Muhammad, the new Muslims. Those people, they perform salat, and that time they tortured. So when Prophet Muhammad and new Muslims, and they could not tolerate anymore, and that time Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed the Surah as a counsel, my dear students. And Allah the Most High revealed the Surah to counsel the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And just if you read the Shine Nuzul, then you will get a clear idea. I told you the main theme or the basic theme of Sura Al Inshirah. Okay, my dear students, now the translation of Sura Al Inshirah. Translation of Sura Al Inshirah. Okay, everybody take your copy, and I have PDF version book 68, page number 68. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Alam nashrah laka sadrak. Have we not expanded your chest? Wada'na anka wizrak. And we have removed your burden. Then verse number 3. Alladhi anqadha dhahrak. Whatever was pressing your back to break or bend, it by causing pain. وَرَفَعْنَا لَكَ ذِكْرَكَ. And we have heightened your fame. فَإِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Surely with hardship goes ease and comfort. إِنَّ مَعَ الْعُسْرِ يُسْرًا. Certainly with hardship goes comfort. فَإِذَا فَرَغْتَ فَانصَبْ. So as you find leisure, you do worship your Lord. And the last number verse, وَإِلَىٰ رَبِّكَ فَارْغَب. And concentrate on your nourisher, Lord. That is, whenever you get free time, you have to worship to your Almighty. You have to worship your Lord. My dear students, one thing is very important here, that is, if you don't know the explanation of any ayat, if you don't know the main purpose of revelation of any ayat or any verse, then you can get the main lesson from any surah or from any ayat. And you know, there are a lot of translation book in our market, in local market. And if you start all translation, just by yourself, you just read all translation, you will not get any message from the Holy Quran. Even Al-Hadith also. If you just read the meaning of Al-Hadith, then Bukhari Sharif, Muslim Sharif, just you read the translation of any Hadith, then you will not get the clear message. So every word and every Hadith, every Surah, the message of Almighty Allah, there is a message, there is a instruction, there are some instruction, there are some Shine Nuzul, there are some various purpose. So you have to know this. If you don't know that, then you will not get the clear idea. Okay, my dear students, and just we got the translation of Surah Al Inshirah. Now we are going to explanation. You know, my dear students, in this surah, at first, when our Holy Prophet Muhammad, he came this world, that time that Arab country was not good, and that Arab country was filled up by total darkness, and without respect, the people, they didn't love each other, they didn't respect each other, and totally out of control. A society totally full of dark. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He gave hidayat to our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he got the nubuwwat from Almighty Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear students. And Allah the Most High granted him release from this pain. As he faced him, prophethood, he guided them to the right path. My dear students, on becoming Prophet Rasulullah began to preach Islam among the Arabs, and the Kafirs of Makkah started to oppose him. They tried to a number of ways to resist him. And when our Holy Prophet Muhammad started, our Holy Prophet Muhammad when he started to invite the people to coming to Islam, that time the Kafirs, they started to stop our Holy Prophet Muhammad. They tried their all side to stop the invitation of Islam. Muhammad could not, he had to stop the invite the people. But after all, then they started to torture our Holy Prophet Muhammad. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this surah as a counsel to our Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu. Okay, my dear students, now I would like to welcome all of you to teaching of this surah, the teaching of Surah Al Inshirah. Please, you can see in your screen, then you can easily understand the teaching of Surah Al Inshirah. Number one, my dear students, and Surah Al Inshirah teaching, he who strives for truth and justice, Allah the Most High, expands his heart and shows him the path of truth. Number two, it is Allah the Most High who removes the suffering of man. Number three, man's name and fame, honor and prestige, all are the disposal of Allah the Most High. He bestows honor and status on whomsoever he desires. Number four, sorrows and pain are inevitable linked up with man's life. So in despair at sorrows and suffering is of no avail. Rather, all this must be faced with fortitude. Number five, each moment of life is valuable. So this valuable time must be utilized, duties and obligation must be justified, judged. Students, number six, after the preoccupation with mundane matters, man must engage himself in servitude to and worship of Allah the Most High. It is the differentiation of his favorite slave to focus his attention on Allah the Most High. My students, lesson 9, Surah At-Tin. Surah At-Tin is the 95th Surah. Surah At-Tin, the serial number is 95th Surah, my dear students. And you know, there are 8 ayat in Surah At-Tin. How many ayat? There are 8 ayat in Surah At-Tin. And you know, from very first word, At-Tin, the name of this surah, Surah At-Tin. This surah derives its name from the first word, Tin, of the first ayat. Okay, my dear students, next, Shani Nuzul. You know, what is the Shani Nuzul? You know, the background of surah, that is Shani Nuzul. What is the main reason to reveal a surah? Allah does not reveal a surah, Allah does not reveal a verse. Why? The main theme, the main reason, the background of that reason particular, that is Shani Nuzul, you know, my dear students. And this surah was not sent down in contact of any event or situation. Rather, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Most High revealed it as a direction for man for achieving total success in this life and to remind him of his accountability in next life, my dear students. You know, after recounting some of his favors to man, Allah the Most High remind him about his creation of man and his ultimate eventuality, my dear students. So just we got the Shani Nuzul of Surah Tin. Now we are going to know the meaning of Surah Tin. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. In the name of Almighty Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful. Wattini was zaytun, by the fig and the olive. Waturi Sinin, by the Mount Tur and tract of Sinai. Wahazal baladil amin, and by this secure city. The secure city, that means Makkah. Baladil amin, amin, that means secure, and the balad, that means city. What is a secure city? The Makkah city is the secure city. لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. Surely we have created man in the best form. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created me. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the best form. What about and you know, someone is white, someone is black, someone is whatever our shape, that is the best shape Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us, my dear students. ثُمَّ رَضَدْنَاهُ أَسْفَلَ سَافِلِينَ, then we reduced him as the main case. إِلَّا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ فَلَهُمْ أَجْرٌ غَيْرُ مَمْنُونٍ. There being such exceptions, those who have faith and do good deeds, and they shall enjoy unending favors. فَمَا يُكَذِّبُكَ بَعْدُ بِالدِّينِ. So, O man, what distract you from remembering the day of judgment? أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين. Don't you take Allah for the best of all judges? So my dear students, just we got the meaning of Surah At-Tin. We got the translation of Surah At-Tin. Now the explanation of Surah At-Tin. You know, my dear, it's very important and very interesting thing is that the first 3 ayats of Surah At-Tin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes oath by the 4 things. How many things? 4 things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala takes the oaths of 4 things. How many things? 4 things. Of them, the first and second are the fig and the olive. The first and second are the fig and the olive. You know, the fig and the olive. Fig is a delicious fruit, while olive is very specious and its well is very useful. These 2 trees grow in the abundance in Syria and Palestine, where is found available in Syria and Palestine. Where? Syria and Palestine, my dear students. Innumerable prophet and messengers of Islam had appeared in Syria and Palestine. In the second ayat, Allah the Most High pleased by the Mount Tur. This is a very highly blessed place or a spot. It was here the Prophet Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam engaged himself in a dialogue with Almighty Allah, and the Tawrat was revealed here. You know, this is very interesting story, my dear students. Who is Prophet? Prophet Hazrat Musa alayhi salatu wasalam, and he made a dialogue with Almighty Allah. And where the Tawrat, Tawrat is the revealed book, and the revealed here, Tawrat revealed in the Mount Tur. My dear students, in the third ayat, the place of the secure city. In this implies the city of Makkah. Prophet Muhammad was born in this city. The sacred house of Allah called the noble Kaaba is located here. Bloodshed and use of force are forbidden here, my dear students. So this is very important and interesting story, and very important and interesting lessons we got from the explanation of Surah At-Tin, my dear students. You know, they are alluding the various important matters for praise. In the first 3 ayats, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala Most High describes the form and nature of man. He proclaims to have created man in the best of shape. The shape of man is the most excellent among all created things and things. But if man does not perform good acts and indulge in evil deeds, Allah the Most High shall humiliate him both here and the hereafter, and subject him to severe punishment. This is very important, my dear students. If we don't perform good work, if we don't perform the instruction of Almighty Allah, if we don't follow the Prophet Muhammad's instruction, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have to get punishment here and hereafter. Both places we have to get punishment, my dear students. So thus Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned us. In the last part of this surah, Allah the Most High warns man about the next life. There is in the surah promise of paradise for those who do good deeds and the pious. It has been said that in the next life all men will be gathered together in order to ask for the explanation of their record of deeds. This will be the day of recompense or last day of judgment. Allah the Subhanahu wa ta'ala will appear as the only judge. He is the best of all judges. He will either give reward, punishment as befitting man's performance in his earth life. My dear students, so we got the explanation of Surah At-Tin. Now the teaching of Surah At-Tin. Okay, everybody look at your screen. There are 5 teachings of Surah At-Tin. Number 1, man is the best and most beautiful among all created beings. Number 2, man's honor and dignity are relative to his good deeds. Evil deeds lower man's to a level lower than that of well-based. Number 3, the good roads shall enjoy unending favors and amenities in the next life. Number 4, Allah the Most High is the greatest of all judgment. On the last day of judgment, He shall call for the accountability of man's state. Friends, number 5, Allah the Most Great has fully warned us about Akhirat, so no sound and conscientious man should disbelieve in it. Okay, my dear students, just we got lesson from Sura Al Inshirah and Surah At-Tin. Sura Al Inshirah and Surah At-Tin. Both surah is very important for your board exam. Both surah is very important for our life, for your life. Surah Al Inshirah, this is the consolation from Almighty Allah to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And Surah Al-Tin, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave some instruction. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala warned us about akhirat. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving instruction for good people who are good, they will get a award, and those are bad, they will get punishment here and hereafter. So these are the lesson from today's class from Surah Al Inshirah and from Surah Al-Tin. Okay, my dear students, everybody give your attention to Islam and moral education, and pray for your teacher, pray for your parents, and stay home, keep safe, and pray for your country, pray for the Muslim world. Thank you so much, my dear students. No more today. May Allah bless us all. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.